Hi, Heather. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Congrats on Place of Bones. I thought it was great.
Thank you.
Yeah, I loved your performance as Pandora. We're totally rooting for her, of course. And yeah, it's a wonderful story. So I was curious, I'd love to hear from you. I mean, there are a lot of things going on in this movie, but what do you hope audiences, take away from it the most at the end of the day?
Well, I like that it's a fresh take on a Western. I feel like it's a Western the way you've never seen a Western
Right.
before. And I love that there's a female protagonist, which I think is really rare in that genre. And I think I like that there's this surprising ending. And yeah, I hope that people find it an exciting, scary, but fun ride.
Yeah, yeah, of course. Was there a particular, when you were first approaching the project, was there a particular part of the story or the character that appealed to you most that made you say, "Oh yeah, let's do it"?
I mean, I think I just loved, I thought the script was really good. I didn't know what was going to happen. I
Yeah,
loved, how complicated that role was. I like that it's a female driven story. There's a female director, Audrey Cummings, who's really cool. And I always wanted to play kind of like a tough badass and
yeah,
like outsmart fighting guys and just being, this powerful, strong woman who's also pretty screwed up. So I loved how complicated and interesting the character was.
of course. Was it fun to do the accent for this movie?
It was really fun. It's great to get a chance to do accents. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, of course. And I know you're doing another Western with Nicolas Cage, The Gunslingers, which looks wonderful. Is there anything you can share about that? Doing another Western?
Well, it's so fun to get to, work on a movie with Nicolas Cage. I remember when I was on set and I made him take a selfie with me, which I felt really dorky about asking him, but when I got it, I was really proud of it and I sent it to all my friends.
I would do the same thing.
Yeah.
You have to. And I also wanted to mention, I mean, I'm such a fan of all your work, and it's hard to believe it's like 35 years since Drugstore Cowboy. I mean, and here you are keeping busy all these years later. I mean, when you think about a movie like that, I mean, does it, what do you feel when you think about such a, it was such a wonderful performance, tragic, but, it was great. I mean, does it elicit certain emotions for you thinking about that movie?
I mean, it's so weird. I mean, I feel very grateful I've gotten to do what I love and that I found a way to do it for my whole life. And it's so weird because part of me feels like it was yesterday, and then part of me feels like it was a long time ago. But I'm grateful I've gotten to work with so many talented people and find a way to survive. Actually, I was thinking that Pandora in this movie, she finds a way to survive. And I do feel like I can relate to like surviving in Hollywood. I've survived in Hollywood. I feel pretty proud of that.
Yeah. Yes, yeah. And I mean, yeah, uh and you're still, I mean, yeah, Plays of Bones is such a, yeah, I mean, you're playing the mom. Did you relate to Pandora when you were playing her, the motherly aspect? Were there certain beats that you felt that you could really relate to on a personal level based on, I don't know, personal experiences or anything like that?
Well, I mean, I create a total backstory for my characters, and so I make up every memory from my past, different like formative memories. So I felt really connected from my preparation, but I can also just relate to even just looking at a young actress in Hollywood, and you feel protective. You're like, I want your life to be better. I don't want you to have to deal with like, like the crappy stuff I had to deal with. Like I want, women to have a better time than than, some of us had, So you want life to be better. Like my friend's daughters actually came to the premiere last night. I'm just like, I hope they don't have to deal with like the bullshit sexism that I had to deal with, So I can relate to that feeling.
Of course, yes. And looking back, also, I was such a fan of Twin Peaks and like David Lynch coming out and saying, he's not going to retire yet. And looking back on that project, I mean, would you ever return to that whole universe if
Oh, I wish. Yeah. I mean, people love that show and I'm also a huge fan and I would love to return. I wish you could find a way to put me in.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I was curious, you mentioned Nicolas Cage. I was curious if you've seen Long Legs yet. That was such a creepy movie.
No, but I heard it's amazing. Everyone's been talking about that.
Yeah, it's great. It's very scary though. It's like you see it and then like seeing Nicolas Cage in real life, if that would like be
Oh my
like,
God. I gotta watch it during the day when I'm not alone then.
yes, that I recommend. I saw it in a dark movie theater basically by myself.
Oh my gosh. A lot of my friends who love horror, they're horror fans. They've been talking about that movie.
Yeah. Yeah, it's great. But so is Place of Bones. And I also, I was such a fan. I rewatched Boogie Nights recently, and that was such a wonderful performance. And
Oh.
do you ever serious, I mean, yeah, and do you ever think about, do you have any specific memories, working with Burt Reynolds or, any other cast members? Stay in touch with any other like or Paul Thomas Anderson over the years?
I mean, I have so many memories. Not, I mean, I sometimes have talked to Paul. We're not close friends, but yeah, I have just such warm memories. Occasionally I ran into Julianne in a yoga class a few years ago. But it was just a very exciting time to work with all those talented people.
Yeah.
And it was a great moment in my career where I went from just auditioning for roles and trying to get people to cast me in things to getting offered movies. That was just, and getting paid more money. It was really exciting.
Yeah. And then here you are in Place of Bones. Was it you're wielding a rifle in certain scenes in this movie. What was that experience like? Were you welcoming the opportunity to add to the badass element, or was it kind of scary at first?
No, I wanted it. I really wanted it. Like part of me wants to be in like an action movie and do like, I don't know, like a Charlize Theron, like action, kind of role. So it was fun to get to run around shooting guns and just like fall on the ground and just like, I loved it.
It's great. Yes, well, I can't wait for everyone else to see it. So congratulations again on it. Of
Thank you so much. Thanks for talking to me about it.
course, yeah, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.